When I saw bits and pieces of this episode, I honestly thought that we're gonna be having an actual alien episode involving real aliens, and Helga and her group will be aliens being mind controlled of some sort. But considering that this was all part of Arnold's prank that caused an alien hex that paranoid the entire city, it's honestly surprised how Arnold got off scot-free, but I'm not really complaining. Arnold's Halloween was unique in a way. Well, Arnold and his friend is preparing to prank his family during the party, with friends obviously coming over, in order to perform an alien hacks prank after watching a movie/TV show that centered around aliens. So they came up with a plan by having Helga and her friends to dress up as aliens to scare other people, but as it turns out, more people have been getting into the idea that all this is real, to the point that the entire city is in panic mode of an alien invasion. I'm starting to understand why aliens have become a popular monster during the Halloween season, especially since that with the entire city in panic mode, Arnold and his friends' prank on causing an alien invasion really showcases of what a prank can go really far, even though it was unintentionally. But considering that this was made in the 1990s, it wasn't over the top like how the Loud House would do, especially since that the Loud House characters will probably scold the other characters big time, knowing full well that those characters are a lot more rude and mean. But in comparison to Hey Arnold, even if I do watch some episodes, the characters pretty much knew that an alien situation is happening, but considering that they're not scolding a person since that they didn't get the information aside from Helga, I really feel like that this was around a time, well, when you make these types of episodes, you don't really punish the character that much. Granted, there could be other shows that did this method when this show was airing at that time, but that's just basically my information on what I feel after watching this episode. Let's look into the point of view of Arnold and his friend, because whenever Arnold tries to make this alien invasion work, this is pretty much the first time he pretty much ever caused a situation where the entire city is in panic mode. And I'm going to assume that his reaction to stopping the alien invasion was mainly him experiencing this for the first time. In fact, in the worst episode that I review, Arnold betrays Iggy, it really feels that he was embarrassed, but at the same time, he really has a mindset of being extremely brave and really have the courage enough to actually do the right thing, even though that he ended up causing the thing. But he basically has a different life in comparison to the other lives in other cartoons. I'm just saying, the fact that he got help by having the person decorate the whole water tower, even if there may be more people, as an actual alien ship is honestly impressive to think that people will actually fall for it. Like, people pretty much went through this city to recognize the water tower, so just seeing everyone in a panic state, thinking that the alien ship isn't the water tower, is really saying something of what the direction of Hey Arnold takes. When it comes to Helga's father, Big Bob, he always explains his alien abduction story, which really got to Helga to the point that she really wants the attention from her father, which kind of showcases that she really wants the approval, knowing forward that she gets ignored. Like, in the differences of Jimmy Neutron, where Cindy actually has her mother gave her affection, At the very least, this episode really indicates that you really relate to Helga on her just trying to do her own thing by gaining attention, and the only way for her to actually do so is mainly dress up as an alien along with the other kids at school. Granted, it only gave Arnold the advantage on creating an alien invasion, but at the same time, he really didn't expect everyone to chase after Helga's group. Even though that Helga is the type of character that's like Cindy from Jimmy Neutron and Y.E.M. from the earlier seasons of The Loud House, it really gave me the impression that what she's experiencing in the show would have been the most developed than the two characters I've mentioned. Like, even though that I'm fully aware that the Valentine's Day episode does showcase her development, even if I didn't watch the episode in particular, I might review the episode when I get the chance if I'm going to do a Valentine's half-month 6 next year, since I skipped on doing it this year. Then again, when it comes to her father just trying to stop the alien invasion, I'm only going to assume that there's an episode centering around him when it comes to aliens, but if it's only in this episode when it comes to his backstory that he told to the other characters, mainly when they were playing cards with them, I'm going to assume that they just didn't have plans, mainly the fact that they just can't be able to focus on every single character. I know people still enjoy these characters, especially Helga's father, but at the same time, there's a chance there's at least a couple of characters that don't get the attention that they should deserve or worth showing. With the citizens believing the alien invasion that is real, I'm always getting the impression that with Arnold and his friend performing a stunt that really showcases of how serious a situation could be, I'm pretty sure that if some people would actually believe Arnold in some sort, then he would have gotten into trouble for realsies. I know earlier in this review that I stated that he caused something that he didn't mean to when it comes to how over the top it is, and the consequences is mostly non-existent. If the Loud House did something like this, then I'm pretty sure it would have been out of character, even though that we would probably expected the characters to be better, because I wasn't really expecting consequences towards Arnold if it was unintentional for him to cause an alien invasion by putting the entire city into a panic state. Keep in mind, for someone who never watched this show as much as other people when it comes to a Nicktoon classic, I don't like Arnold. It's gonna take time for me to get used to him, but that's mainly the fact that if I'm ever going to give this show a chance, which I haven't, and it may be redundant for me to say that with multiple other shows, but at the same time, the state that I'm in right now is honestly better than just trying to give more shows a chance when it comes to these episodes. Like, if it wasn't for Halloween Mania 2 becoming a thing, then I don't think I'm ever going to review this episode until years later when I don't have any other options for Halloween reviews. Don't get me wrong, this episode was entertaining at the very least, and it did give me an understanding on how aliens is a Halloween monster that is worth making a Halloween episode out of, but keep in mind, I've only watched 3 episodes from the show, and my opinions towards them are good, well except the first one, because you know I reviewed the worst episode from the show. But keep in mind, it's gonna be difficult to get into a show that can catch my interest the most, which is something that I have learned when it comes to watching other cartoons that takes time for me to get used to, and I wasn't ready for them, but over time it will. It may not happen a year or 2, and it could happen soon, but it would take a while for me to get into the show. Otherwise, it may not at all, but it's difficult to be positive, but mostly negative. It's either me not being into 1990s Nicktoons or the fact that this show just isn't my comfort show in comparison to other comfort shows that takes time for me to get used to. Even though that this review isn't really as focused on the episode itself, at the same time, I still enjoy the episode, even though it's not one of my favorite Halloween episodes. Like, it's the most unique episodes, but keep in mind, whenever I think about the direction of Halloween episodes, I've seen much more better, even though that the episode of Hey Arnold is unique. As much as I want to give this show a chance when it comes to the creativity that isn't a holiday episode, it will have to take time for me to be invested with the show and the characters, which, honestly, it's difficult for me to get invested with characters from shows that I haven't got into, especially new ones to this day. Let me tell you that I do want to get into newer cartoons, especially cartoons that have been released decades ago, but I'm starting to be in the position on not being invested with characters when it comes to experiencing ones that I already have. But that's just basically my taste in shows and cartoons. Hopefully the Valentine's Day episode could impress me, but we'll see if I have the ability to make that review or not for next February. I'm giving this episode a 6.75 out of 10.